Something I've been thinking about recently is how formations have been implemented across the history of Total War, because, as I've already shown, testudo in Three Kingdoms is completely different from testudo in Rome Total War, and likewise, wedge in Three Kingdoms is completely different from wedge in Shogun 2, and another formation that has been in Total War is shield wall. I think this was introduced in Barbarian Invasion, the expansion to Rome Total War, and what that did was it gave infantry of the Saxons in particular the ability to lock their shields and be compacted tight. And I think what you usually think this does in Total War is compel a more disciplined and organised formation that has less mobility, takes up less space, is more susceptible to things like siege weapons like ballistas and maybe even really precise onager shots, but it might then confer an advantage in the melee because there's more of an emphasis on the positioning of each man as part of the formation. Like, that's the idea. It's like a phalanx. The hoplons lock. The shield of one man protects the men on either side of him. That's the idea I think you would probably go to. You'd think it's a defensive formation that keeps the unit alive longer, or maybe has its fighting performance be enhanced at, of course, the expense of mobility and maybe ground covered and susceptibility to area of effect type things. But in Barbarian Invasion that may have been the case, but then shield wall was made available in Medieval 2, but I think what happened is, even though it was ported over and it functions in the game, it was never actually utilised by any unit. So they brought it over to Medieval 2, and then I'm quite sure they never gave any units the ability to use it. But that then was, I think, pounced on by modders who noticed that they could easily use something that had not been taken advantage of, availed of by the actual player experience that Medieval 2 originally offered. So, of course, when you play Third Age, which is the most successful mod, I think, of Total War of all time, this is 3.2 of the original team. So this is the most up-to-date version by the original mod team. There's been some sub-mods that have been spin-offs by other people that have taken up the mantle, but this is the original Third Age, the final vision of the original developers of Third Age mod, and they have shield wall on everything. All the dwarves have it, some Gondor infantry have it, but really it's the dwarves that have it. So what I'm going to try and do is show how shield wall is used in this game, because surprisingly it doesn't confer a straightforward advantage in the melee, because when you turn on shield wall, and I think this might be why it wasn't used in Medieval 2, when you enable it, the men on the skin of the unit, the outside of the unit, they will break off from the core, the actual shield wall, and just sort of go on a rampage. They will, it's like a, I don't know, what would you call it? How would you compare it? It's like a star that's gone supernova, just casting off its outermost shell in a blast. Just like the core of the star stays behind, but then there's this blast wave propagating out, just fucking destroying everything. And that's what units in shield wall do in fucking Third Age, because you'll often see dwarven warriors in shield wall and they take on this strange appearance where you see a block of men in the middle, and then all these guys run out ahead of the unit, just spreading out, just expanding out, just taking down fucking orcs, cutting them down, and it looks bizarre. So obviously something's not right there. But what you can do is take advantage of what happens before that, because they arrange in a tight block, of course, so they have higher density than any other fighting force on the battlefield, and then you can wedge through enemy formations, enemy lines, just like I did for that video I made of, what was it called again? Testudo wedging phalanxes. Because with Rome Total War, if you guard mode in testudo, they stay in the testudo no matter what, and because they're compacted so hard, and because the game assigns mass to every individual man, they become a really high density mass region and can push through even phalanxes. So you can break the phalanx, you can concentrate your mass into a small area and then push through enemy formations, kind of like how elephants do, even to testudos. It's quite fascinating how you can see all the different masses that have been assigned. Elephants can just, and chariots can just push their way through testudos. Testudos can just push their way through phalanxes. Phalanxes can just push their way through infantry, and of course infantry can just shove skirmishers aside like they're not even there. So you can continue that in this game with shield wall to an extent, so let's try that. And to do it, of course, I'm going to use the dwarves. And this is a way to use the properties of the shield wall. It might not be intended, it might not be intuitive, but in the environment of the game, with the systems that the game just has to have, it emerges as potentially effective, and you can maybe use it to do things that would otherwise not be possible and that you would want to do if you're aware of the opportunity. So let's do it. Grey Mountains, and I'm going to try to wedge through the centre of a line of Gundabad or Misty Mountains with dwarven heavy infantry, and then I'm going to pour through it and try and exploit the flanking opportunity and try and chain route through the middle. Usually you chain route from the flanks, but I'm going to be extremely dwarven and chain route from the centre by just wedging through, just smashing through the centre of the enemy infantry line, which is what you would want to do with the dwarves. That plays into their strengths of really good melee stats. So you're not relying on mobility, you're relying on their pure melee supremacy. So let's try and do it, and if it works, then cool. If it doesn't work, then shit, it wasn't effective enough. But at least we tried, at least we found something that might work and tried it. Alright, let's do Gundabad Orcs. Light and heavy infantry, no cavalry. That's good for us because we're coming up against that light and heavy infantry in the melee. So let's do it. We're defending. Gonna give each of us 100k, and hopefully the game doesn't fucking crash when I give them spiders or something. You know? Snow trolls. Oh man. Snow trolls. Alright, so 4, 5, 6 units of dwarven infantry, the main battle line, a general's bodyguard. Yeah, there we go. So we've got a general's bodyguard, a main line of dwarven warriors. Maybe I should get some miners in there as well. Alright, let's do it. Some miners. So we've got dwarven warriors with miners, and then on the flanks we'll have a unit of dwarven axemen each, and then on one side we'll have Erebor, another side dragon slayers. Then wedging through the actual centre, we're going to have 3 units of iron guard, alright? 3 units of... no. 2 units of iron guard and a guards of Khazad-dûm. That's going to be the wedge. So we're going to have guards of Khazad-dûm at the front, wedging right through. And that's what you want. You want your strongest units to be the ones making the essential decisive manoeuvres. So in Shogun 2, it's katana samurai and cavalry on the flanks breaking from the side. In this game it's going to be 23 defense and 26 defense, iron guard and guards of Khazad-dûm. And then to help capitalise on that, we're going to have axe throwers, and then some crossbows on the flanks, and we still have 2 spaces, so more axe throwers. And once they've thrown their axes, they can join in on ramming through the middle, because they're effective against armour. And we've spent 13k, not bad, not bad. So we went light on miners and afforded extra axemen for the middle, for the wedge through. So that's the plan. I'm going to try and stretch these units out into long lines. So I'm going to be relying on their really good melee stats and defensive line holding capability to buy me time to allow the wedging force to get through the middle. And then I'm going to have orc bodyguards, I'm going to have some snow trolls, mountain trolls, 6 hit points, 5 hit points. Are these good? They're not exactly Olog high, but they look like they're good. And then we're gonna have... I'm gonna start with orc fellers, because they're gonna have effective against armour, and they're gonna need that, just like these ones. So we're gonna have halberdiers as well, marauders, goblin band, and then we're gonna give them some of these, and these are men. Yeah, it's strange, they have actual men. And then we're gonna give them... Shit, we should give them some wargs to fuck our men up a bit, like on the flanks. They're gonna hit the flanks and be up against axemen of Erebor, so that'll give us problems. And then more halberdiers, and yeah, let's make it difficult. Gonna go with... They've got trolls, so I'm not exactly making this easy on me. And I should maybe take away units then, to make it more difficult. Alright, more wargs. No, fuck that. They might go down too easily. Alright, more fellers. Alright. So that's quite even. Alright, Alright, last look. Yeah, the trolls. If we can negate the trolls with axes, that'll make this easier. And I think we're fighting on the Grey Mountains, hopefully we are, and hopefully this shit does not crash. And remember, I'm going to be stretching out long lines with miners ready to pad out the line. Don't want to rely too much on terrain for this, because of course we're going to be fighting uphill to get into the backs of them once we've wedged through successfully. Alright, pad them out a little bit, so I'm going to have this here at the gaps, then noblemen there, yeah. Gonna have stakes on the flanks. Maybe that'll kill the wargs, that'll be funny. And I'm gonna guard mode with all of this. Axemen ready to step in. We're gonna be skirmishing. Axemen ready to throw their axes. Ready and right behind. Not skirmishing. Axemen here. Dragon Slayers. And there's the wedging force. And of course I'm going to push through with the general as well. So these are the wedgers. And look at how tiny of a space. Alright, let's just get ready in advance. Yeah, look at that. See how how good this will be for wedging through. All we need to do is push through with this and then follow in with all of our units one after the other. We can make a train and just send them in. And we're going to have miners ready to do that just in case. Axe throwers definitely. Let's do it. Alright. Snow trolls coming. Hopefully crossbows focus on trolls. And if it comes to it, we always have the axe throwers. And this is going to be the wedging force that follows up the actual wedge. Wargs on the flanks. Trolls taking a more central position than I expected. Hopefully they come for us. Don't you fucking just sit there. Yeah, there we go, they're coming. Alright, so I'm going to be trying to wedge through the very fucking middle. I really hope it works. Because if this doesn't work, then... yeah, we're doing it. We're going for the trolls. Yeah, we're going for the trolls. If this doesn't work, then that really reflects poorly on the ability and what it can do. Because it's not going to help us in the actual fight. Not really at all. Right, trolls are leading. They're going first, which is sensible, because it causes disarray. Makes an opportunity. Dragon Slayer's ready to... We're getting stuck on the spikes. Can send the Dragon Slayers in. They are coming right through here. Are we throwing axes? Yeah, we are. We have some axes being thrown. Good. Alright, let's throw axes with all of these. Force the throne. And I'm going to wait until they get engaged before I go with a plan. Alright, here we go. Skirmish off. And they can just run away. We're not getting hit on the right side yet. We haven't killed any trolls. No, we have killed one, yeah. They're doing some damage, the trolls. Come on, Dragon Slayers. Fucking taking too long. Alright, we're gonna wedge through. Let's do it. So this is the mass, extremely high mass region, and I'm going to get ready to follow up. I'm in position with miners to support. I'm going to push them forward to get ready. Likewise over here. I'm going to commit the axemen over there. Alright, running through. We have to force them to run through. And we're following up. Trolls are getting stuck. They can't do enough. And yeah, we've made... There wasn't much of a gap to actually force, but you can see it working. Like, we're not having any issues getting through here with this. And now I can keep going. Yep. Gonna meet them in the melee. Gonna keep going with these. And we're gonna capitalise. They're pushing in with the wargs here. I need to break them on the left side.
Very much in our favour. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
And I need to follow up now with axe throwers. I need to try and break this entire left side. We're holding on the right, I think. And yeah, I see a problem here now. Getting on the melee. Connect to the melee there with the bodyguard. Gonna try and get through this gap here with this unit. This most of the work, I think. But really, I want to be collapsing, you know, enveloping these units here. I don't want to be getting stuck in these fights. I want to block these units like this and then push through. And they're getting a charge. Yeah, I need to do this. I need to get stretched out. And maybe even just throw axes. That might be enough at this rate. And I want to be breaking from the centre along the way. So I want to stand here, throw axes, break them, and then charge into that one. See how well we're holding? And we've got miners here ready to relieve. Likewise, we have miners here. Axeman of Erebor ready to come around. Dwarven Axeman again, likewise. Have we broken them yet? Alright, we're charging, fuck it. Charge. And yeah, we're gonna keep going with these, just keep pushing. Yeah, I wish they had committed more heavily in the centre so I could have shown the wedge, shown it off better. Gonna stretch out and get ready for the charge. Gonna use the Axeman of Erebor, that's the most offensive unit in the whole roster, I think. And we're doing it, they're collapsing here. Entire right side is collapsing, it looks like. I didn't even get to do that charge. Alright, Axeman of Erebor, charge them. A lot of units been tied down by this iron guard here. Snow trolls are still fighting, left is looking depleted. They're firing, so I'll just leave them. Those wargs are getting away fast. And we have units with one man standing their ground.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
And they're supposed to be able to shield wall, I think, but because we have this, I can't see it. And yeah, that should be it. I think we've done it. Dwarven ability to just hold their ground. Erebor Axeman. Yeah, I'm turning them around. Axeman of Erebor. Oh, they're round. Yep, that was just too easy, I think. The height advantage made it go in our favour. Alright, we're going to do this again, except this time I'm going to try and have just an infantry brawl. And I'm going to go Gondor this time because they have a unit that has shield wall, at least one. Gondor against Mordor defending. And we're going to go up against just Uruk's, well, Morannon Guard. And some halberds. There we go. So now we have a really solid army of over 4,000. And now I'm going to go with a line, a solid, consistent line of Gondor infantry. Yep. 10 of these. And then we're going to go with a wedging force of Kasilic can make shield wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for the wedging force through the middle, we're going to go with Losarnic Axemen. So they should do well. If they can get through and flank, they have 6 charge, which is higher than every other unit. So I'm going to get 6 of these. We've spent more than them, so I'm going to remove some of the infantry here. So we're still going to have 4 Citadel Guards to blob through the centre, and 4 units of Losarnic Axemen. And what I'm going to go for here is really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units of Gondor infantry. So yeah, I'm going to make a solid line, hopefully get them all engaged, wedge through, and then pour through with my Axemen, who are supposed to be flankers. So if I can do this right, then, and I really hope I can, then I will be flanking from the centre. And I'll try and tie them down with Citadel Guard while I commit to devastating flanks. These cost 470. All of these units here cost way more than 470. So that's a really cheap unit. And we can maybe make it have a good fight if we do this sensibly. Hopefully it works this time. This is the first experiment, the first way to utilise shield wall that I can think of. And I want a good example. And if this goes right, we will be pushing up through the middle. Pushing up through the middle, then coming around with these axemen. And it should be devastating if we can charge into the backs of their engaged units. So I'm going to guard mode for that. Alright, start. So they've got a really good downhill advantage on us, so we really want this to go our way. Alright, let's try and shape our formation to help this go right. Gonna bring a unit over here, I think, maybe. Nah, they should come at us quite head on, so it should work. Alright, fast forward. It's 4,270, was it? So they have a lot of solid, heavy infantry fighting with a massive advantage over us. So if this actually works, I will be amazed, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to make it work. For it to work, we want to be committed. So I'm gonna be breaking through here, I think, around there. Alright, they're charging. Moran and Guard charging. They won't do very well in that charge. It's not a perfect matchup. Halberds, though, will do well in the fight against us. I want them all to get committed, or most of them to be committed. I want them to get in the melee. Ah, they're flanking. I'm gonna have to pull off here. I'm gonna do it in advance. And then reshape over here. Alright, once they get engaged on the front here, we can start the plan. That's 2 units of Yep, 2 units of Uruks coming over here. And yeah, this is working. I'm gonna have to take these ones out of guard mode and charge and meet them in the melee. Yeah, they have a rear charge. Really do need relief there. Alright, let's try this now. Shield wall. And then I'm going to blob through here. They have more at the back though. We've done a decent job of catching them.
Defeat seems almost certain.
We'll catch them too.
Our general lies slain upon the battlefield.
Oh man, a bit close. Alright, I need to start this plan now. I'm gonna send these 2 through the front and then have them cross paths. And then I'm gonna be ready to send these 2 through first. And then these 2 afterwards. It's working. We're pushing through. And we haven't taken many losses yet. We haven't taken many. I should just push all the way through, I think. I should just blob all the way through. Keep going. Everything just ram through all the way. Everything ram through. Keep going. Fighting to the death here. Fighting to the death, wavering. And I need to break all of this. They're why we're pushing through. Right, go left, go right, continue through. And I need to just keep going here. Charge. Charge. And my generals died, so I can't do anything. Take them out of shield wall, fight, and we broke. Where did we break? What the fuck? Alright, charge them, turn around. They're out of the push. Charge all of these. Oh man. Turned them around, met them in the charge. And we're through. I need to commit to this fight here.
Defeat seems almost certain.
We're doing well in this fight in the middle, but we didn't hold, we didn't prevent the flank. They're enveloping hard. And now they're surrounded. Yep, this one broke over here, I think. Charge in there. We've got them pinned in the melee. So we did break the centre, we did wedge through. They just had so much and they flanked. If we just kept some more units in reserve to meet the flanking, I think we would have done really well. But we showed the principle anyway. We have a good centre here. We've gotten the high ground on them, out of nowhere. And this is a good counter to that unit, because they have light armour. Citadel guards are still fighting.
Only half our force remains!
We've lost half, they've lost 30%. Yep, these are going to break. It's going to be down to the Citadel guard and the Axemen at this rate. They're wavering, oh man. Yeah, our anvil is going to go. Nearly lost the anvil. But we broke out of the downhill advantage. We've made it a bit of a even fight. It's almost in our advantage now. In our favour. To our advantage. And this units came back. Run them around. This unit broke. And that's Axemen there, going to be fighting downhill. Citadel Guard are holding the line. And yeah, they're all going to break now.
Pray something changes in the course of battle, for defeat seems almost certain.
But I showed how it works. We had a low mass front that we could have punched through. And if I had done this differently, we could have maybe fed units through and then enveloped them from behind. But we didn't have enough units and they didn't commit hard enough. If they were fully engaged all the way across the line, that's why we failed, because they got the flank with all of these units here. And because our general died, and because we couldn't outnumber them properly. Our Citadel Guard actually held for ages there. They stood in the fight, did really well. So yeah, the principle has been demonstrated, I think. Killing 37% is not that bad. Fought a good fight. And this unit is still flying. Axemen. 57 v 104. 56 v 100. And then they're going to have a bad fight. They're up against it here. Yep, principle demonstrated.